It's a serious critique of what we love and what we don't about horror movies. I love being scared. I love that mixture of thrill, of horror, that objectification, identification thing of wanting definitely for the people to be alright, but at the same time hoping they'll go somewhere dark and face something awful. The things that I don't like are the kids acting like idiots. The devolution of the horror movie into torture porn and into a long series of sadistic comeuppances. Drew and I both felt that the pendulum had swung a little too far in that direction.
Hey everyone, we gotta go on a vacation. Let's go to my cousin's cabin in the woods. It's gonna be a great time. We don't know what's gonna happen. It's far up north so no one can find us. I think we'll have a great time. Y'all wanna come? Anyone? George, you wanna come?
No!
Nope. Yeah, no, that's great. That's nice. Fantastic. Wow. Yeah, okay. Yeah, whatever. Sure. Whatever. Well, fine. Just go find my place elsewhere. I'll go vacation by myself then, you all pricks. Y'all suck.
I'll go with you. I need a job.
Welcome everyone to my second Halloween special. This is where I talk about a horror film or horror films and recommend them to you. My first Halloween special I made was, well, it was an interesting one to say the least, but ultimately I recommended 3 horror films in a minute each and encompassed that in one video. It's down below if you want to check it out, but here I'm going to talk to you about one. Just one, and it's been on my mind for quite some time, and I don't know why, but we've got to talk about it because it's one of my favorites, and that is Cabin in the Woods! Cabin in the Woods stars Kristen Connolly, Chris Hemsworth, Anna Hutchinson, Franz Kranz, Jesse Williams, Richard Jenkins, and Bradley Whitford. This tells the tale of a group of college students that decide to go on a vacation spot in a cabin in the woods, and they fall prey to backwards torture zombies. And there are people behind the scenes who manipulated them from the get-go to get to this point, and as to why, well, that in there lies the mystery. So, when I first heard about this movie, it was through one trailer and one trailer only, and through the minds of Drew Goddard and Joss Whedon, I was totally on board. And with these two, they teamed up and they wrote a film and directed a film that they believed would revitalize the slasher horror film genre. Now, of course, I do want to say more as to what this film is about and what was in it, but to tell you the truth, the movie just kind of takes away from all the typical cliches that you're used to. In all honesty, at this point in time, beyond 1 or 2 individuals that actually really liked the film, I have yet to find anyone who actually enjoyed it. Case in point, seeing this film with a friend way back when, back in 2012, he himself didn't like it. Sharing this film with other people sort of didn't really succeed very well. They didn't like it. They kind of got a little hung up on some details. And I even tried to show my girlfriend this, and after 45 minutes, she was just like, nope, I can't do this. This is sadistic. Why are you making me watch this? She doesn't really like horror anyway, but she's a good trooper, and I love her for it. But I really do have to ask, were we ready for such a film as it is? To some, this is not the greatest horror movie ever, but it's a fun, twisted, even silly movie. But to go as far as to dislike it because you didn't get it, it's a little baffling to me. If you have seen it and didn't like it, let me know down below. I would love to understand where you're coming from as to why you didn't really care for it. Because the critical reaction between us and the real critics is a little odd. But to pose the question, and I'll give you my answer, I would still love to hear from you. Here's what I think. This is coming from a large group of individuals that I feel like they love their tropes, they love their cliches, and it doesn't need to be touched. They don't care for revitalization. Then there's the critics who have been longing for it and love that those two who I have mentioned had the power to create it and did it and had fun, and it was just encompassed for us, and our projections and thoughts were feelings were just like, yes, I've been waiting for this my whole life, thank you, Jesus. So getting into my thoughts about this film, I'm just gonna say it right now, I loved it, if you couldn't tell already. Spoiler alert, if I wasn't supposed to say that, wait till the end, but this movie is absolutely spectacular in my eyes. From the moment that it begins to the moment that it ends, I was entranced with every scene. I was curious to know where it would all go, especially when the terror is finally released and our teens have to think on their feet. Sheesh. I mean, things get really good after that point. Now, beyond all of its desire to move away from the cliches, this is actually a very straightforward movie that reveals the twist firsthand in the beginning scene. You actually have to piece it together and figure out what the goal is trying to be achieved between not only the teens, but the people who are pulling the strings. You do have to pay attention to the dialogue, the situations, how things go down. Everything is pretty well taught in this regard in how they tell their story. But if you're not understanding how or why this is happening, then it can lead to frustration, which is completely understandable because I've seen people get up on the wrong details, on the wrong situations, and just check out. From this point forward, though, I will say that I'm actually going to have to get into spoilers of the film, so if you haven't watched it, you know just enough. You can have fun, you can enjoy it for what it's worth. I would say at least try and have a good time with it, because I just find the movie absolutely clever. But to divulge in my geekiness, I have to talk about more in-depth situations and scenes and feelings that just, I feel like, add to the overall experience of this movie. But brought to you in part by disappointment, which I actually had one moment of disappointment, but it was completely negated after the movie just continued on after I had realized, because when the terror was unleashed and it was just these backwards torture zombies, I was kind of disappointed. I was like, I'm kind of zombied out. Now we got this slasher teen, and it's supposed to be clever, and the cleverness just kind of stopped. I'll stay interested. I'm trusting you. I'm trusting that when everyone's dead and it's down to the last one, and with knowing what I know, you won't meander, and we won't face an absolute human threat, because that would just be boring. Everything I was hoping for and then some came into play and turned every expectation upside down. Upside down. There was 3 times I felt this movie was just gonna end, leaving us on the various meanings of what this was all supposed to be about, leaving it up for grabs of the, you decide, fill in the blanks, stuff like that there. It's the scene where Dana is the last alive on the dock being thrown around by the lead torture zombie. There's footage of this being shown in the party room as all the technicians and various employees are celebrating that they succeeded in sacrificing the teens based off its angle and the pacing of the film and the overall feel. I swear to God, I thought I was just going to see credits roll up, and you just see her being thrown around, people just maybe crossing by where the camera's showing, and, just people crossing by in the party room, and you're just kind of like, well, damn, this is rough. Okay, wow, all right. Just give me the roll credits, okay? I'm going to go home and think about if I want to own this movie. Nope. It kept going. The second part of this film I thought was going to end was when Marty was revealed to be alive and Dana is rescued by him. And they get down into the underground facility by using one of the elevator cubes. All of the creatures are revealed to Dana, and she is flipping out. And then the pull away of the camera definitely got me thinking, all right, this is the end. Cut to black. Give us the credits. Nope, it just keeps going. And I'm like, what? What? Okay, so seriously, this is the last time I thought it was going to end, and I was completely baffled by this point that this movie hadn't ended yet. The elevator lobby scene is where all the creatures attack the personnel and just tear everybody to shreds. There was one victim in the back, and he was getting torn apart. Then he is literally thrown into the screen, making everything go dark. In my mind, I seriously went, all right, that's it. That's the ending. We're going to get the credits rolling. Oh my God, it's going to keep going. Now, of course, as you can see, I'm a giddy little schoolboy in the theater watching this glorious, uncliched romp happening before me, and I was just a kid on Christmas, happy as can be. This movie went the distance for me and made references, jokes, created scares I didn't even know I wanted. What I got was something truly, truly spectacular, and I loved it, and the sad part about it is that I really can't recommend it to too many people because of how it presents itself, how it works, and how the usual response is. This movie sucked. But for me, I loved Cabin in the Woods and own it on DVD. Lord knows I need to buy it on Blu-ray. And for the record, I am sure there are many people out there that love this movie. Never you worry, I just haven't met you yet. I'd love to, though. With that said, Cabin in the Woods, what did you think of it? If you did or did not like it, let me know down in the comments. Be kind, be reasonable, and let's talk. Thank you all so much for watching. If you're interested in what I do here, I review movies and TV shows. If you would be so kind to subscribe, hit that notification bell as well so you don't miss my next upload. Check out my description box for more, and with that said, I hope you all have a fantastic and wonderful day. Don't forget to like, comment, and